People of the world, we have been there throughout history. We have a long-standing tradition and a record of all that. And in a world full of theories, one must at least give a bit of weight to the fact that ours is one of the ones that is not 5 minutes old. The story that is being told in the media is a lie. The story that are being told in all the individual conspiracy theories, etc., completely wrong. Please listen to the Jew just once and hear what we have to say, what our message is. We do have a message and we are willing to teach it, and we have got it from God himself at Sinai, where we stood 4,000 years ago. If someone has told you or pressured you indirectly not to listen, don't let people do that to you. Listen, this is for you personally. The thing Jews have always believed is that God is the master of history, and this whole thing is indeed personal between him and us. Everything is his doing. We can't and won't defeat him, and he has told us what this is all about and how to succeed. If you have ever wondered why literally the whole world has tried to exterminate the Jews several times, and that an entire world can conspire to annihilate a people, and how little sense that makes, and how something must be going on, and how you've noticed they're starting to do it again, even wokeism, which is the end result of the moral enlightenment that came in response to the Holocaust to say that we're better people, is now ironically becoming very anti-Semitic itself. This always happens, and there's only one answer. Torah teaches that the right and left have to work together and be balanced. Naturally, they try to exclude each other. The most sacred and mystical Jewish text starts by describing this war that erupts when God created left and right in the most fundamental, raw, mystical state, and they already had a war. Can you imagine? So you can see how fundamental this is. Trying to understand it is what the Torah is all about. They naturally try to exclude each other, like I said, but really they are meant to be together. They're meant to be married. The left value kindness, and the right value justice. That's based on current politics. In Torah, it's actually the other way around. Chesed, kindness, is right, and Gevurah, justice, is left. We're in an upside-down world. Another thing that needs explaining. Kindness and justice are supposed to be married to each other. But if they are not at peace, that's when things get bad, really bad. In a place where justice is too strong, it's horrific. And in a place where there's too much kindness, things get too permissive, and that leads to its own more subtle horrors. We are seeing this as the divide between Christianity and Islam right now, for example, at this point in history. Christianity having influenced the West to its permissive freedom culture of anything goes, and Islam's strongholds, the places where Sharia law is enforced, everybody knows are horrific, oppressed, and damaging, very, very damaging. Torah has been specializing in harmonizing kindness and justice for the last 4,000 years. That's why Jews have always been here, because with that harmony we are eternal. It's because we've studied the Torah with the biggest OCD imaginable for literally 1,000 years. Just go and look it up. Light years ahead of the majority of the world for most of history. This is not a humble brag. This is just the truth. You need to know this. You haven't been told this. You've been lied to. We have embodied the Torah. Our communities are healthy and happy. Just go and look for yourself. If you do find a bit of brokenness, it's because we're a bit broken from trying to ride the waves of the clash between left and right in the wider world and the Holocaust that has led to throughout history. Basically, it's been our job to show you the results of unity with left and right, rather than simply teach it to you from a book. We would pass this test, as by many, if not all metrics, we are the healthiest and the happiest, most moral, least addicted, most academic, with understandable exceptions and imperfections that can easily be explained by the trauma of the Holocaust that we've had to go through, in our job to repel the attempts at extermination that each side, left and right, tries to commit on the other. When left wants to do away with right, the first job is to get rid of any possibility of reconciliation. The Jews. That's what's going on, and that's why it always starts with the Jews. We have to now insist that you at least give our very ancient, very scholarly, and therefore high caliber tradition and worldview a listen to. All we want to do is reconcile. We want to show you that there are laws that work, our laws, God's laws, and ask you to consider them with the confidence that they work and the claim that we make that they respect your ultimate values and in fact bring them out the best of all, most peacefully of all. After all, we all agree that there needs to be a set of laws. We have to have some standards, some regulations, some code of conduct in interpersonal relations. Even the most permissive, anything-goes environments, such as teenagers in a liberal American school, will end up with some sort of set of laws. However, just like the horrifically unhealthy environment that produces with so many teenagers scarred by this, laws that are not just and not right, not balanced and tested, can lead to horror, tons and tons of horror. We got the Torah from God himself, which has a set of laws that he knows are going to work to produce good, healthy societies in the world that he made. If you're impressed by how well Jews are doing, just think how well they would be doing if they had not been so oppressed. God's giving you a chance to suss it out. Suss it. Esav, the west, and Ishmael, the east, need to be redeemed. They will when they can see eye to eye. The West right now would respect the Arabs, for example, if they wouldn't be so harsh and totalitarian with their laws. And Jews say that the West is right. Islam is too strict. And Islam would have had much less of a problem with the West hadn't they been so excessive in their freedom, especially the breakdown of the morality of family and holiness in relationships. Jews totally agree. And if you just hear us, you would agree that it's not unreasonable to see that pornography and hookup culture are things that we don't need as a society and are just making things worse. How much more do you want to run the experiment? How many more broken people do you want to see? How many of your children do you want to see fail? All we want is closeness and intimacy. And everybody wants that. We all want our relationships to work, our families to be holy and happy, and not hurt so much. So I'll do my best on this channel to explain this. I'm not going to keep any secrets from you. It's all there for you. It's your message. It's the message we got at Sinai, which is for everyone. And I'm going to explain the history, the laws, and demonstrate their worth, and try to show you that the Torah's way is the best, so we can all voluntarily agree to abide by it. There's no control, there's no force, there can't be. We have to do this voluntarily, out of our own free will, because we all want to live. We all want to be eternal. We all want this to work for our children. The Torah is the only eternal set of laws on earth. All other systems have failed. It's time to consider the original system again that we have run away from for so long. It's time to get purple-pilled.